almost ready for the show. Starting now. QPTV Daily Social Live. QPTV.org's live daily show. I'm your host for today, James. Happy Wednesday, May 26, 2021. It feels like we got a little taste of summer, doesn't it? Let's get right to the show. Unfortunately, we don't have the weather ready for you yet, but we're working on it. Yeah, we have a lot to cover on today's show. But before I get right into that, I just want to also remind you that QPTV's channels and site are currently under construction and maintenance. We ask for your patience while we make things better. Program submissions to QPTV's web file upload portal are not currently available, and please do not send in your files for processing via web or email. And we will be keeping you up to date with as much information as we can bring you as it comes to us right here on QPTV Daily Social Live. With that, we also want to remind you that you can go to our website to find out more about COVID-19 in Queens. Go to qptv.org/coronavirus. You can go right to the homepage. And then the banner up top there, you can click your way through to get more information. Let's see. We got a lot on today's show. And we had a busy morning at 9 a.m. We brought... at 9 a.m. we simulcast. I don't know. What is that? What is the past tense of simulcast? Write me. Let me know. Let's see here. Trying to get right down to it. We'll get into this in a second. But I want to talk about... This is actually coming up very soon, but I want to talk about what we had this morning first. That's not it either. Sorry. Here we go. Conversations with the candidates. Ray McGuire, that was at 9 a.m. on QPTV. And you can watch it on QPTV now as a replay. You can watch that anytime And that was brought to you by the Queens Chamber of Commerce. Tom Gretsch right there. I'm not going to play too much of a clip. I'll have that play right there because I want to get into what's coming up tomorrow first. But this is available now for you to watch if you missed it. And along with that, right after, the same series of conversations with the candidates brought to you by Queens Chamber of Commerce. This one was with Kathryn Garcia. And again, this is available to watch right now on the website. Go to QPTV.org. Before I show any clips of anything, I just want to tell you what's coming up live today on QPTV.org. This is from Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz. The rich diversity of Queens County is our strength and our pride. Join Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month celebration as we honor the many contributions of Asian Pacific Islander communities to our borough and beyond. You want to check that out. This is going to be an excellent program, as all of these have been, especially during this time of the virtual event era during COVID. And they always put on great events, and it should be quite entertaining as well as informative, and hopefully open up a lot of eyes and minds and hearts to things that are happening, and help us learn to value each other's cultures a lot better. You can watch that on QPTV.org today at 4 p.m. Make sure you check it out. Also, tomorrow, Queens DA Katz, that's Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz's Memorial Day observance ceremony for 2021. This will be on QPTV.org tomorrow at 11 a.m. This will be broadcast live from the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Elmhurst Park. Please join us for this online event as we pay tribute to those who have served and sacrificed for our nation. If you want to check that out, we'll remind you again before the show's over, but go to QPTV.org, bookmark it, save it, and make sure you're watching that on QPTV's website tomorrow. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more QPTV Daily Social Live.
The Borough of Queens is renowned for its diversity, created largely by the waves of immigrants who chose to settle here over many decades. At first, they often tended to live together with others who had similar backgrounds and values, helping to form distinct neighborhoods. Today, Queens is a mosaic of these vibrant and different neighborhoods, so we decided to examine what makes them unique. In a series we call Neighborhood Notes, we'll be looking at the food, the culture, the history, and the people of our colorful Queens neighborhoods. This week we visit Flushing.
You don't want to miss Queens Conversations tomorrow, 3 p.m., right here in QPTV. We'll be reminding you about that again before the show is over. But if you're unsure of where to find us, especially on social media, I'm happy to tell you. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, any of these major social media platforms, you can find us quite easily. On Facebook, we're Queens Public Television, all one word. On Instagram, at QPTV, Twitter, QPTV. You can find us on YouTube. Search for Queens Public Television. LinkedIn, look for QPTV, and Twitch. Look for Queens Public Television. Search for QPTV. Search for Queens Public Television. Anywhere you're online, and you'll find us. You'll get to us. We're right there. You're looking at us now. That's how clear our presence is. So don't hesitate to search us out, and make sure you follow and subscribe wherever we are. You could also email us directly, media@qptv.org. You can have questions or comments. We'll be happy to answer them for you. Also, the channels. If you're in Queens, you could find us on your Spectrum, RCN, and Fios cable channel lineup. If you ever need to reference, you could find us qptv.org/guide to get the entire listing. We got one more thing for you to check out before we get back to the rest of the show. Of course, it's all related to what QPTV is about, but we needed to take a little break to set up the next segment. We'll be right back. Back on QPTV Daily Social Live. Get back to the show. Don't forget, coming up at 4 p.m., Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz's Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Definitely getting ahead of myself in talking today, so I'll bring it down a little bit. We got a lot to talk about, and there's a lot to do before that comes up, so excuse me. Let's get right to the next part, the next segment for today. Now, this was yesterday, St. John Queensborough President's Candidate Forum. You can watch that now on qptv.org. This was presented by St. John's University, Queens Daily Eagle, and of course, Queens Public Television. Let's take a little look. We'll jump ahead in this one towards the end. Unfortunately, these aren't like narrative pieces of content where if we skip ahead, we're spoiling anything. On the contrary, the ending is the end. All the meat of the content is in the beginning and in the middle. So let's check this out. Watch the entire program on qptv.org. Everything we put on is fascinating. We wouldn't dare put on anything that isn't of value to our audience. That's you. Let's check this out. I still haven't found my buttons, by the way, so that's troubling. Maybe there was some sort of error.
Got to go one way or the other.
The mouse lobby is coming for each and every one of us, actually.
Ms. Crowley, your favorite park in Queens County, just name one.
Forest Park, was there this morning and went for a run.
Excellent. Mr. Richards.
Brookville Park, no park like it in Queens.
Mr. Van Bramer.
I grew up in the Astoria Park pool and having egg salad sandwiches on the lawn, so Astoria Park.
Okay. Ms. Crowley, beer, wine, or cocktail, or none of the above?
All of the above. But not the same night.
Mr. Richards.
Come on, I got to do vodka, man. Cocktail.
Mr. Van Bramer.
As I've gotten older, I cannot do vodka and not get a headache the next day. So I am a beer and wine guy.
Okay. Mr. Richards, what dead person would you most like to meet or get advice from?
This one, man, the first name that came to mind, and I miss her so near and dear. She was dear to my heart. Claire Shulman. I miss her. She put shovels in the ground and built this borough. Love you, Claire.
Ms. Crowley.
My father. I was only 7 when he passed away.
Mr. Van Bramer.
Harvey Milk. If I could meet Harvey Milk, I would thank him for setting the stage so that other queer people like myself could dream that one day we could run for office and achieve our rightful seats at the table.
All right, we are just coming up on the time. So we're going to finish with 1 minute closing remarks, and we're going to do the reverse order that we started with. So we're going to start with Borough President Richards, 1 minute closing remarks, followed by Councilmember Van Bramer and Ms. Crowley. Borough President Richards.
Oh, again, you can watch the entire thing if you want to catch those closing remarks. And if you want to catch the rest of the program, you can watch that on QPTV.org right now. Not right now, but as soon as Daily Social Live is complete, and you can watch whatever you want on QPTV.org. We've also got, we have New York Virtual Town Hall, District 14 Town Hall. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Let's see if we could play a little clip of this. We didn't get to do this yesterday because we had to be through. But you could watch this program right now on QPTV.org as well. So let's, again, find a random point. Oh, this is really tiny on my screen. I can't even see what the numbers are. But here we go.
That being
Let's
said,
check it out.
I think the dynamics are very interesting in the House right now. I am often able to talk to my Republican colleagues, particularly those on my committee, and discuss issues that we think are of mutual interest, and they do agree. They do exist. Issues like there are some issues. I think that there are some Republicans that actually have a certain degree of openness around marijuana decriminalization, for example. I have recently had discussions with some senior Republicans about this. I've also talked to Republicans about things like composting laws. and sometimes we're able to get some progress on some things. But I will be frank that the dedication and lockstepedness towards Trumpism has made working with the Republican Party quite difficult at times, and I think that we even see this at a higher level. There are Republicans, for example, take the January 6th Commission, for example. There were Republicans that said, hey, we will support this if you make the committee completely bipartisan, for example. Equal numbers of Democrats and Republicans will support this if you meet these demands, if you meet these things, and then we can all come together and pass this legislation on a totally bipartisan basis instead of a straight partisan one. And these accommodations will be made in these negotiations with Democrats trying to engage in good faith. And then the day before the bill's supposed to vote, Republicans pull all support. And, I think that this is this creates, I think, a disincentive to work with Republicans, that they make all of these demands to water down legislation. Then Democrats or certain leaders do that in a good faith effort to try to compromise. And then they pull their support and it ends up getting passed on a partisan basis anyway. And if Republicans are going to do that, then we might as well pass 100% of what we want and make that maximum progress no matter what. And so I think with certain very banal topics, that kind of work across the aisle can happen. There are also other areas, civil liberties, anti-war. Last session, I was able to get Republican support on my amendment. Ironically, I was able to get some Republican support, but not enough Democratic support in my amendment to decriminalize research into psychoactive compounds. Right now, we have a ban on allowing federal funding of certain research on substances like psilocybin and MDMA. And I actually had certain Republicans who consider themselves libertarian, joined me on that. But a lot of Democrats did not join me on that. And so I will keep on the good fight there. But I think there are certain civil liberties areas.
Well, there you have you have it, an inside track brought to you on a simulcast, brought to you by Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So if you're a Democrat, you'll want to watch it. If you're a Republican, you'll want to watch it. So check it out. That's on QPTV.org, the virtual town hall. Check it out on QPTV.org, and we're happy to bring these to you as a live simulcast. And you can watch any of QPTV's live simulcasts on our website. Sorry, let me get that up there. On QPTV.org. Anytime. And of course, when they are live, they'll be in this spot right here. Where, you know, you see me talking up there. And we have plenty already. There's our election center. You could check that out. But you could also check out our whole live simulcast section, where it not only has this recent election coverage, we also have simulcasts from all sorts of facets of, you know, government and civic and cultural institutions of Queens and New York City and New York State. We feel that these are incredibly valuable to our community because they provide information, sometimes critical information. And we're just, that's a part of what we do. That's our part of our mission, is to help facilitate this information and the ability for you to put out there what you have to say. That's what QPTV is. We'll be right back. We have a bit more coming up before we head out. Let's take another quick break on QPTV Daily Social Live. Bear with us, folks. We have, of course, we're shuffling things around on Daily Social Live, at least technically. Usually we would play our Missing Children segment right after the bulletin board promo. We are still working on that. We'll hopefully get that for the next show. Don't forget to remind me. And let me remind you right now that you can find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitch. You can email us directly, media@qptv.org. With your questions or comments. And in the case of looking us up on social media, type in Queens Public Television on any of those platforms, or Google QPTV, Queens Public Television, or, of course, just go to qptv.org. We can link you up directly from there. And of course, make sure you have your remotes ready, save to your favorites, QPTV on any of these systems, Spectrum, RCN, and Verizon Files. Now, let's Let's get back to more show. On Thursday, June 3rd at 9 p.m., you can watch the Queens College commencement for 2021. And that will be on Spectrum 34, 1995, RCA 2, and Fios 34. This is going to be a big event. Graduates of Queens College, they're going to recognize over 5,000 degree candidates. And this is a big deal, obviously, because it's the 97th, and it is during the time of COVID. So we're happy to bring this to all the students and the families, and frankly, people who are interested in seeing, literally seeing the future advance in life directly in front of your eyes. You can do that on QPTV. Make sure you watch the Queens College commencement 2021 right here on QPTV June 3rd at 9 a.m. Let's see what we have next. We have this wonderful promo on the NYC Votes We Power NYC ambassadors and what that is there. We Power NYC is an initiative by young people for young people. The We Power NYC Ambassador Program is for New Yorkers aged 14 to 24 who are committed to increasing youth engagement in local elections. Ambassadors become voting experts by participating in weekly meetings, engaging with local history, hosting voter mobilization events in their communities, and sharing critical, nonpartisan information on their social media. And you deserve a say in how things are run, so make your voice heard. This is from NYC Votes. You can watch this promo anytime on qptv.org, but as you'll see in the video, we want you to go to voting.nyc to get all the information on voting in NYC. Let's just play the video. We want to give a special thanks again to the ambassadors and Olivia Brady, who is the coordinator. Let's take a look at this video. Let's move it back and we'll start it from the beginning.
Hi everyone, my name is Olivia Brady. I am the Youth Engagement Coordinator for NYC Votes. We started this program, the We Power NYC Ambassador Program, as a volunteer opportunity in the summer of 2020. And it was so successful that we were actually able to branch out and secure funding to pay 16 young New Yorkers from across the 5 boroughs to do this incredibly important work of getting their communities engaged, educated, and out to vote this year.
Like voting and participating in local elections is one of the biggest things voters can do.
As ambassadors, we're kind of responsible for communicating all this different information about voting and local government.
I feel like it's important for voters to have unbiased, equitable information regardless of what community you live in.
That you directly and you alone, you have the power to change this city. You have the power to make this city a city that you would want to live in, you would want to raise your own kids in.
Voting really gives you power, even if you don't think it does, it really does. So please vote.
It's so important for your communities, even on a local level. It's really important to vote for what you think would be in your community's best interest.
A lot of the, nuances and small facets of our community that we never really realized, such as the streetlights, the stop signs, do you have bike lanes in your community? Is it safe to cross the street? Those are all impacted by the officials that we elect into office.
So why not start early and try to fix some of those problems and try to shape the, the city?
Change starts within us, and no matter how small we may think our votes are, they all count towards a major goal of ensuring that NYC is in a state that we all hope for it to be in.
I'm really learning how I can help my community change.
Being involved in your community and educating your community, because no one else will.
Giving my community and surrounding communities a chance to be heard.
You can make such a big difference by voting for someone that aligns with your values
that speaks for what you believe in, speaks for what you speak.
To get registered, to find your poll site, to learn about early voting, you can visit voting.nyc. It's your one-stop shop for all your election needs.
Follow New York City Votes on all of their social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, to stay informed about all the stuff happening locally with elections. They'll show you how you can fill out your ballot, learn about different representatives, and they give you all the deadlines and stuff that you need to know in a fun, informative way.
It is in a non-partisan, non-biased, easy to understand kind of way.
I think that it's really important. It means that other people can be more educated and get more involved in local politics as well, which will impact my and everybody's future.
Vote, get up, go vote, and let your voice be heard.
Take that feeling of power, take that feeling of responsibility, and run with it and do something powerful, impactful, and great for what I think is the greatest city in the world.
There's a new way for New Yorkers to have their say in city elections. A way that gives voters more choices and can lead to more diverse winners. It's called ranked choice voting. 74% of New York voters chose to use it in primary and special elections for city offices, mayor, public advocate, comptroller, borough president, and city council. You won't see ranked choice voting in general elections or elections for state or national offices. But in ranked choice voting elections, you can now rank up to 5 of your favorite candidates for each office. Here's how ranked choice voting works. On your ballot, you'll see candidates listed in rows and numbered rankings in columns. Pick your first choice and completely fill in the oval next to their name under the first column. Like always, you can just vote for your one favorite candidate and submit your ballot. But you might like several people. If you have a second choice, fill in the oval next to their name under the second column. Do the same thing for your third, fourth, and fifth choices if you have them. A few don'ts. Don't rank the same candidate more than once. It won't help them, and it takes away your chance to rank the others who are running. Don't give the same rank to multiple candidates. It could disqualify your ballot. Don't worry. This is a new process, and you can always ask a poll worker for help, or for a new ballot if you make a mistake. So, how do ballots get counted with ranked choice voting? If one candidate gets more than 50% of everyone's first choice votes, they win the election right away. That's it. If no candidate gets more than 50%, ballots will be counted in rounds. Round by round, the candidate with the fewest votes is eliminated. So, if your top-rated candidate is eliminated, your vote goes to your next highest choice. This keeps going until only 2 candidates remain. The person with the most votes wins. Ranked choice voting is already popular in many cities around the country because voters find that it helps more voices be heard. Now it's our turn. Get answers to your questions and learn more at nyccfb.info/RCV.
Now, of course, if you didn't get all that, don't feel bad. A lot of information to take in, but come to qptv.org and visit voting.nyc to find out. You can watch those videos to learn all you can about ranked choice voting and, quite frankly, an incredibly busy election year. And we're happy to bring as much content and information about this year's elections, the upcoming primary, and just all the changes and everything you need to know. We're going to make sure that we have it so that the constituents, the citizens of Queens, have an opportunity to have their voice heard. All right, let's go on to the last couple segments here before we head on out. What was it? The 2021 Queens Power 100 will be on Wednesday, June 2nd at 10 a.m. And this is also from City and State, New York. The Queens Power 100 is back. Who holds the power? Who's moved up? And who's moved down? And why? We'll identify and rank the movers and shakers in New York's largest and most diverse borough in this special edition of City and State. the list be featured on this virtual event. That's Wednesday, June 2nd at 10 a.m. Spectrum 56 or 1996, RCA 84, and Fios 36. You can also watch it right here on QPTV.org. Don't miss it. And we also have the Virtual Digital New York Summit you can watch on QPTV.org. And this was what was done usually in person, like many events. I would be able to do it so easy. I'm sorry, I'm diverting away from this for a second. I just have to say I cannot find those buttons. Wait a minute. There it is. You know what it is? I changed the button, but I didn't change the name. All right, I have to fix that. But yeah, it's right here. There we go. Yep. There they are. Okay. I thought I was losing my mind. I know I put buttons here, but I changed some pre-existing buttons, but I didn't change the name or the color or anything. So they look exactly like they used to instead of looking like something new. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, that's fine. Further down the line on QPTV Daily Social Live, we're going to be taking parts of this show in a slightly different direction where we'll be happy to be bringing you live tutorials and sort of how-tos on media creation, essentially. And not just streaming, but just sort of little tidbits here and there. It's not going to be a whole lot. It's not going to be a whole class or workshop. It'll be a little nugget of information that might help you in a major way if you're creating media in any sense. There's a lot of that coming to QPTV, and especially on this program. So, and that, I guess, sort of ties into the Digital New York Summit. That's much more of a larger scale. We're dealing with the whole state of New York, and of course, the movers or shakers in the digital world. And we're talking about essentially a lot of the services that are being brought to you. So you want to check this out if you have any curiosity, or if you just want to expand your mind on how certain things run in the state. And that's a part of what QPTV brings to you regularly. And in fact, at 4 p.m. today will be Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz's Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month celebration. Don't miss that. That'll be live on QPTV.org at 4 p.m. And tomorrow, Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz will also have a Memorial Day observance ceremony. You can watch that live on QPTV.org. That's Thursday, May 27th at 11 a.m. You're not going to want to miss that either. And then, of course, you can go back and watch the conversations with the candidates with Ray McGuire and also Kathryn Garcia. And we don't have a card available with that, but we also have, let me double check. I don't want to give you wrong information. Eric Adams on June 1st, 3 p.m. So you're not going to want to miss any of that. QPTV.org is bringing you as much election information and coverage, and simulcast with our partners, and we're focusing on what's important to you. The major races affecting Queens, affecting your district, affecting your neighborhood, affecting your street, affecting your block. This is the place to find it all. So with that, I think we're going to wrap this up because we have to get ready for tonight's simulcast, along with a lot more content that we're bringing you. Don't forget, we'll play this right before we head out again. Let's do that right now before we forget.
The Borough of Queens is renowned for its diversity, created largely by the waves of immigrants who chose to settle here over many decades. At first, they often tended to live together with others who had similar backgrounds and values, helping to form distinct neighborhoods. Today, Queens is a mosaic of these vibrant and different neighborhoods. So we decided to examine what makes them unique. In a series we call Neighborhood Notes, we'll be looking at the food, the culture, the history, and the people of our colorful Queens neighborhoods. This week we visit Flushing.
Check that out, Thursday, May 27, 2021, 3 p.m. QPTV 1, that's channel 34, 1995 on Spectrum. Let me get that back up on the screen so you can screenshot it. RCN 82, Verizon 34. You can always watch QPTV QPTV presents Queens Conversations with host Lucia, John Collins, and Noran Omar. That on qptv.org/QC. You're not going to want to miss that live tomorrow. All right. Let's close it up. Let's close up the shop. We're not going to close it up completely. What we're going to do is wrap up Daily Social Live. But of course, we'll be live again at 4 p.m. Make sure you watch that simulcast. Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz's Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month celebration. We're happy to bring that to you. Very happy. It was a last minute thing, but we want to make sure that we bring this content to you as soon as possible and as live as possible. And then also as easily as possible. So you can go to qptv.org. You can watch all these programs. Thanks again for watching QPTV Daily Social Live. We'll be back on more on what you should know from Queens Public Television, because we can't do this without you. In fact, we're here for you. We want you to become part of our in real life social network. Go to qptv.org to find out how to watch, learn, and create with QPTV. Tell your friends about us, share and subscribe. Stay safe and be well.